Here we go, episode 25 of the Hibs Ramble. Don't adjust your audio or your visual sets. It is me, Craig. I am back for the first time in what seems like forever. Joining me is Liam. How are you, Liam?
I'm not too bad, mate. How are you?
I'm alright. You have a good Christmas?
It was good, mate. It was good. How was yours?
It was alright. As usual, kids got spoiled rotten and left a trail of destruction behind them before leaving us to clean it all up behind them. But you know all about that. Well, you'll know all about that in the years to come.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. I heard you got spoiled rotten as well. Someone got you the worst PlayStation mic in the world. We're playing Warzone earlier and I could hardly hear you.
I put that down to Activision's game and their software, and quite frankly, their whole. We're not. This is not the Activision ramble. This is a Hibs ramble. But Activision and Infinity Ward and all this gimps that make that game need to up their game. Talking of upping their game, Hibernian Football Club are going through a bit of a malaise at the moment. Christmas Eve, we made a good -4 dent in the goal difference. After the game against Celtic, we are now back in the same goal difference position we found ourselves before the Livingston game. We're not going to go into the games too much, like too in depth, because there's no point. We all kind of seen what happened. But were you surprised by the level of performance we got last night based on the level of performance that we got against Livingston?
I don't know. I think we played really well against Livingston, and you know when Celtic come, it's going to be a tough game, regardless if they have an off day or not. I feel like for the first 5-10 minutes, we really kind of tried to give them a go, and I thought it was going to set the tone for the rest of the game. But unfortunately, we kind of fell off a bit. I understand why we couldn't get in their faces for the whole game, but you know, we got an offside goal, and looked all right, and then we kind of crumbled after they scored their second goal.
No, we did. I mean, I said it to you last night, and I've said it like on Twitter as well. For where I sit in the famous five, I have never seen a team. Now, I'm not going to big Celtic up, right? Because on the ball, I don't think they're that great. Like you said after the 6-1 game at Parkhead, the goals that they scored weren't a case of you could hold your hands up and go, actually, Ken Mott, that was pretty good. It was simple pass and move, attack the space. That's all it was.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at the goals last night, that was the same again. And I know there was a few defensive lapses in amongst that as well. But off the ball, they move and set themselves up in a way that I've not seen a team do at Easter Road. And I think that's what makes it so hard to either press against or set off against, because they play the fullbacks tuck in so narrow to the point where they're almost playing right in front of the centre halves. And then the two wingers, so last night it was Abada and Maida, were literally on the touchline. The amount of times that the ball was on the right hand side in the first half, so their right hand side, our left hand side, and Cadden was almost looking to defend the penalty spot, and Maida was still running for out wide. Like I just think it must be so hard to defend against that, especially when we've not got enough quality ourselves on or off the ball to, one, if you want to talk about triggering a press and pressing effectively, and then we've not got players that are comfortable enough on the ball when we do trigger that press. So I just think that it's one of the nights where everything they done clicked. Almost everything, like even breaks of the ball. I mean, I think there was a point where McGregor got tackled and he had 3 round him and he still managed to wriggle away with the ball. Like, sometimes your luck needs to go away. And if Cadden is able to hold his run a wee bit earlier, we get that goal that was ruled out for offside. But other than that, I hate this saying that it's a free hit, And I mean, we've seen worse Hibs teams in the past give a better account of themselves against Celtic, and obviously recently Rangers as well. But I don't know. Just for me, I think last night showed the levels ahead that they actually are. Especially, well, compared to us, anyway. I can't speak for how they play against everybody, but if that's the benchmark, fuck me, we're a million miles away from it.
Well, at least we never conceded 6 again.
Correct.
Let's look at the positives.
But we didn't score.
Well, we did, but it just didn't count.
Aye.
And we hit the post, so that's basically scoring. So it finished 4-2.
One thing I think we should talk about is the team selection last night. I mean, it's no surprise that he went with the same lineup that beat Livingston, and I hate this conversation that comes about is that we can only win against 10 men. Like, ultimately,
I mean, we've not really proved it. We've not really proved it wrong, to be honest.
But we can't help if the opposition goes down to 10 men.
Yeah.
And the fact that a lot of these games that we've played, the opposition have went down to 10 men early.
Yeah.
Like Aberdeen was a first half red card. Kilmarnock was in the first 10 minutes. St Johnstone was a bit different because I think Murray Davidson was about the 65, 70 minute mark. But and even the Rangers game, obviously the Rangers game we were 2-0 down. But like I don't really think it's fair. Like, because we can't control, if Jason Holt, we can't control Jason Holt making that challenge. And to say that I know we have statistically only beat 10 men.
No, we've beaten 11 men a couple of times.
For the most part, we've beaten them. But like I said, the red cards that we've seen, especially Kilmarnock when it was like the 9th minute or something. Like,
what you meant to do, I suppose, yeah.
I know, even with Aberdeen right on the stroke of half time, like, it's one of those.
To send one of our players off as well. Well, no bother, we'll just come out second half with 10 men and all.
Aye. So I think it is a bit harsh to try and label them as a team that can only, the same folk that are saying, we can only beat 10 men, would be the same folk greeting that if we did play against those teams for those spells with 10 men and we didn't win, we can't beat 10 men.
Yeah.
So, like, in terms of the team selection, I wasn't surprised. Were you surprised to see the same lineup?
No, I think it's been a staple of Lee Johnson to go with a winning side. We've seen it when it seems like so long ago now when we went 4 on the bounce winning. I don't think he made many, if any, changes throughout those 4 games. I thought maybe McCurdy's performance on Saturday could have warranted them to get a start, but definitely not ahead of Eli Yuan. And I think maybe if Kukarevich was 100%, he would have went in as well. But unfortunately, he pulled up in the warm-up, which is, the last thing that we really need to be hearing at the moment, which is a bit shite,
I do. I think that the issues with the team sort of came to the fore. Like, it seems right now that obviously this weird thing we put in Porteous in centre midfield.
I don't really understand that, to be honest with you.
I don't like it. I mean, you can argue he's the best centre half at the club, so why would you put your best player in a specific position into midfield? Is it maybe him sending a message? Because he said after the game last night that, he made that point again, this is 2-3 managers worth of players. They're not playing the way I want. I can't get, they're no players that I want to play the style of football that I want to play. So,
but then the questions need to be pointed. Then why was there 15, 16 players brought in the summer if that's not the ones that he wants? Yeah. Given the fact that he was here before most of them had signed.
Well, you say that, and it's now come out that McCurdy was also, he done that podcast last week with a Lower League England English football podcast, and we made contact with him under Maloney. So that's McGeady, Marshall, and McCurdy.
And Kenny as well, I think.
I think Kenny, well, The announcement that he was signing was no long after Johnston got the job.
I think it was before he got the job, was it not?
No, it wasn't.
Was it not?
Tavares, we'd been tracking him for months, apparently. Like, so who's... This is the thing. I mean, but do you know what? We'll get off about the game because there's no point talking about it. We were well beaten in the end. But this... And I know Sean, I'm actually quite glad Sean's not here because he has this fascination with defending the recruitment team for some reason, specifically Ian Gordon.
Get your hits in while Sean's not here then.
Exactly. And I just don't get it. Like, I really don't get it. Like, I've been quite vocal in my criticism on here and online about the way that the club is being run at the moment. Now, we've got big fancy screens, we've got great looking AstroTurf around the pitch, we've got, by all accounts, incredible hospitality options, which is great for those that can buy or want to buy.
I'm going on the 28th.
Doesn't really interest me. But that means jack shit if you've not got a team on the park. And Ron Gordon's intentions are now, in my mind, clear because he done a podcast with Graham Spears a few weeks ago. And he outlined his intention. His intention long term is to sell the club for a profit. Now, I don't envisage...
He's a businessman, though.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but he believes he can make 2, 3, 4 times what he paid for it.
How much did he pay for us?
I think you're probably talking a reason about 5-6 million.
Well, I mean, see if you're looking on assets. He's bought the training ground outright. He's cleared all our debt. So, and he's
already
made vast improvements to the stadium.
We already own the training ground, though.
Oh, did we? I thought he was at the stadium or something.
And they're all secured against his company.
So, I mean,
I'm not.
He might well make a profit. I think if he would to sell the club tomorrow, he'd probably make a profit.
I don't think he would. And that's solely because of what's happening on the park. Like, you think when he came in, we were still relatively fresh off that cup winning bounce. He came in the summer of 2019. So 2 seasons back after being in the Premier League. Obviously, we had that Shannery season under Lennon and Hecky, but things were potentially looking up. And we finished third in the season, his first full season. But we've never capitalised on it.
I think finishing third in that season was because everyone else was absolutely murder.
It's the same as every year, though. Like, look at Hearts last year. Hearts were the best of a shite bunch. Again, Aberdeen for a period were looking like the best of a shit bunch, but they fell away. And it's ridiculous because we have lost 8 games out of 10. So we have accrued 6 points or 4 points out of a possible 30. Yet we're still only 5 points away for third. Granted, Hearts have got a game in hand, but if we can somehow get a result on Monday, that would make it 5 if they won their game in hand anyway. So we would be no worse off.
Yeah.
But it's, for me, the whole like is playing Porteous in centre midfield trying to send a message as if to say, look, this is what
I've not got the midfielders I want.
Doyle Hayes has been injured for months apparently, yet there's news broke yesterday that he's away to Forest Green. You've got Cadden, who's not a right back, playing at right back. Kyle McGuinness last night played. He's been out for nigh on 12 months. And he's playing right wing, right midfield against arguably one of the quickest players I've seen. Maida, he was fucking, like, he had Cadden. Cadden could have gave him a 5-yard head start and still got beaten.
Yeah, Maida kind of, I think he'll be having nightmares about Maida for a wee while.
He absolutely tore him to shreds.
I think Cadden didn't have a great game last night, but I mean, what can you actually do against someone who's got pace and the dribbling ability like that? You know what I mean?
But it's this fascination with playing. It seems as if he wants to play Porteous, Hanlon, and Rocky on the same team, but he doesn't want to play three at the back.
I don't understand where Lewis Miller's gone as well. If he can
He's
see that
injured.
Cadden's struggling, is he still injured?
Yeah. So again, like where these players that we're signing, like where's Tavares? He's disappeared off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
Like we had, so McGuinness was out injured for a long period of time. Rocky's been injured. Hanlon's been injured. Miller's now out injured.
Boyle's injured.
Nisbet injured. Boyle injured. Like, I know some of these, like some of them are like actual impact injuries. So for Nisbet, for example, like we all seen that happen. But the other ones, there's never been a bad injury yet. We seem to be falling to bits. Or is this just show you where the recruitment side is falling to pieces? Because not only are we signing players that are not clearly nowhere near good enough at this moment in time anyway, but we're signing players that seem to break down. Like Lewis Miller's been out for months. Like even McCurdy, a few weeks ago, it seemed to be a hamstring injury. Like how are we getting so many non-impact injuries?
Yeah. To be honest, see, you're talking about the recruitment team there. When's the last time we actually signed someone who was decent? Like apart from Martin Boyle, because I mean, we all know.
I don't even count him, like, because he was away. It was like a 6-month loan. He was away on. You'll probably go back. Well, Marshall's been good.
Marshall is a good signing,
but
I mean, you could have told us that we were signing David Marshall. We would go, oh, that's a good signing, because we know David Marshall. We know he's a good goalie. Noah Kenna, I think, has been a good signing.
Aye, but still, there's no someone that's pulling up trees.
Exactly, I think he's a good signing, but
you probably go back.
Karevich, maybe.
Probably Nisbet when we signed him.
Yeah,
like someone who actually we signed, broke into the first team, and made a sustained impact over a period of time. Like everyone else, I mean, it's still we've signed 22 players in the last calendar year, and we've still got 7 players signed. But you've even got players like Porteous, Hanlon, Stevenson, Josh Campbell, Joe Newell. So 5 of last night's, and that's just off the top of my head, 5 of last night's 11 were here before Jack Ross even had the job. Campbell, you could maybe argue because he was in the youth team. But
Campbell played okay last night as well.
But Hecky was one topping him up when he first took the job. So there's at least 5 players that actually predate Jack Ross getting the job. So never mind Maloney getting the job or Johnson, which I don't know. I don't understand how it's got to this stage, and I think there's a real apathy setting in with the support in general. Even when the team went off last night at half time, nobody was really asked to boo them.
There was boos at full time though.
Aye, but there must have been. There was only 900 folk left.
Again, it was. I only stayed till full time because I knew if I'd left any earlier, the traffic would have been murder.
But I don't understand where we're going, and we've possibly got the worst fixture that we could possibly have hoped for at this run of form. But before that, this is probably the most eagerly anticipated part of today's podcast, because I am finally going to give my Easter Road steak pie review for what is now almost legendary. I've been waiting for it that long. So let us get into my Easter Road steak pie review.
Which pie is the best in the pie review? Which pie is the best in the pie review?
So,
Talk me through it. Talk me through it, Sam.
as probably goes against the morals and the ethics of the pie review. That
You were
I've-
waiting until you had a good one
that I was,
before you reviewed it.
but that's a lie because I had a really, really good one at the under-19s game.
Doesn't it count? No.
But I also had a really, really shit one. Can't remember what game it was. Might have been the Kilmarnock game. And I felt it was fair to give them, obviously, the new catering system and that, give them time to get things working. And I have to say, last night's pie was a delight.
I'm glad you enjoyed yours because mine was fucking terrible.
And it pains me to say that because I really want to bash Hibs right now, but I can't bash the pie I got last night. The temperature was like we've discussed before. We don't like piping hot scran. When I took my first bite, I thought my face was coming off, but it was weird. As soon as I took that first, the whole pie just settled, which was weird because it wasn't overly cold last night either. Like
Letting all the steam out.
aye. So the temperature, I enjoyed the temperature. The filling.
What's the score for the temperature though?
The score, I believe, I gave a 4. 4 for the temperature.
Good effort, Hibs.
Like I said, if it had maintained that steam and tar like heat, the score would have dropped. But I feel like a 4 is generous.
Started poorly, but ended spectacularly.
It was because of the way it responded to that poor start.
An early setback.
It was like when Rangers scored at Ibrox and then we went right up and scored straight away. That's what it was like. The crust was good. It didn't 40 pieces for a start. It wasn't dry. It held together. Most importantly, it did not stick to the tinfoil.
That's a big one at Easter Road. They always stick to the tinfoil.
This one came out. It was like Ace Ventura. It just fit like a glove, and it just came out perfectly. So I believe I gave.
You know that's the sign of a freshly cooked pie.
Yeah, that's why I think I had the piping hot start followed by an immediate cool down. So I gave the crust a 3, because it's still. It wasn't. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't blow your mind away. The filling though, the meat was well cooked, nice and soft, not too chewy. I didn't find any gristly bits whatsoever within my meat. There was a good consistency with the sauce. It was thick enough, but not too thick that you felt like you were eating a soup. And it had this incredible peppery aroma, which was strange because I didn't realise, A, we started doing steak and peppercorn pies, and 2, I didn't add any of my own pepper to the filling, which surprised me and delighted me at the same time. So I've given that a 4. And then the price point, as I said before, the price point is shocking. $3.85 for a pie is not on. I only get one because I have to get Alfie one. So I've given the price a 2. Given an overall Craig Piemiership Hibs pie ramble review score of 13 out of 20.
I think it's respectable. I don't think my one was as high as that. I think I gave Hibs.
However, we should add the caveat that this is probably my 5th or 6th pie in the season. So it's probably not an accurate, like I said, it's not a...
It's basically an average though.
No, because that's by far the best.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh well, I mean, who cares then?
This
is the one that you've reviewed. Ken, what I had last night, I had a really bad steak pie. It wasn't great. I'm not going to go into detail, but I can't advocate for these pies enough. The Mr. Basri chicken ambala pie from Easter Road is wonderful, tremendous.
You get one of them and a steak and gravy.
I did, because I never had my dinner last night. So I had 2 pies and then proceeded to call Ange Postecoglou fat. Doesn't really make an awful lot of sense.
No.
2 pies and a really, really salty bovril.
I got a Coke because I felt it was too hot for a bovril. It wasn't cold enough for a bovril.
I was pretty cold, like.
You get the wind blowing in on you though in your wee peasant seats in the West Lower.
Yeah, and the gold seats.
Yeah. You're not in the gold seats, are you?
Yeah.
Is that actually gold?
Yeah, baby.
God knows how. Anyway, I believe you've got Mark's Ibrox.
Yeah, I think I put that one in last week. He gave it a 15. The Ibrox pies were actually really good, mate. Is this your first review of the season? Have you done another one?
St Johnstone.
St Johnstone, aye. You need to start filling up because like I've only got a couple of stadiums left to go. I love my pies, mate. Committed to content, me. You and Sean have done a couple each. Mark's done a few.
I was speaking to Alfie last night, and Alfie's desperate to start going to more away games. So the only reason I've not been going is because he doesn't really get into it that
doesn't
much.
Really pay for his own ticket.
And that. But he's I've seen a right change in him with his attitude towards football recently. So no, you'll probably be seeing us on the road a lot more for the second half of the season.
Which pie is the best in the pie review? Which pie is the best in the pie review?
Talking the second half of the season, we end 2022 on a whimper. We would just like to take this chance, though, to thank everybody that's listened and interacted with us. It was quite daunting when we first started up as a brand new podcast, even though we've done it before. And we do really, really appreciate the support. And we've got bigger and better things planned for 2023. And hopefully, one of those things for 2023 will be our first pod of 2023, which will be reviewing this Monday's game against the provincial outfit Heart of Midlothian. Are you shitting your breeks just as much as I'm shitting my breeks?
I don't even want to go. I don't want to fucking go. See, the last 2 times that we've won, I've sat at home and watched it on the telly.
You also sat at home and watched the Livingston game on the telly.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The last 2 times we've won
was
Livingston.
We won it.
And then St Mirren, and both times I've sat at home and watched it on the telly. So I didn't want to go last night because I was like, we kind of need a win, so I might stay at home. But I might definitely stay at home on Monday. But I've got a ticket, so I can't not go.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. Only for the occasion, not for the game, not for the result.
It is one of these games though where it's like I was saying to you before we came on. The last derby before COVID, we felt like we were going to, like this was it. Like this was the time we were going to give them a scalping and send them on their way. I'm sure they finished on like 11 points that season, and 6 came for Hibs.
Yeah, I think so.
So what we need to be looking for, what you find out in these games is that when there's one set of support who feel like they're going to hand out a doing, the opposite ends up happening.
Well, you can take that, and I'll raise you last season at Tynecastle on the day that Mila was born, and we were absolutely murder and hearts were flying. They thought they were going to give us a doing, and they gave us a doing.
Aye, but those ones are few and far between.
No, if you're a Hearts fan.
Usually when we are absolutely shite is when we get a result there.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not looking forward to it, mate. I'm really not.
I'm sure I've told you this before, but and since I started going to games, like properly full time, started going to games in 1998, I think I have missed 2 games at Tynecastle.
And did we win them?
No. One was when Mark De Vries fucking just kept scoring. And then the other one was the first one in the Championship.
Oh, yeah.
Got beat 2-1 and Liam Craig missed a penalty.
Yeah, fucking idiot.
So I have been to that ground more often than I care to remember, and have seen more defeats than I care to remember. But I've also seen us go there when our back's against the wall and we've got an absolutely stinking outfit and get a win.
I've only seen us win there once, the Ross Caldwell game. And then obviously the 2-2 and the 0-0s. I've seen us win them as well.
To be fair, the the one that sticks out for me is the Riordan penalty game.
I was watching it on the telly.
That was a game where we hadn't even, I think we'd sold 2 sections.
It was a makeshift team, as well.
Yeah, Lewis Stevenson and Ross Chisholm played centre mid. Stephen Tico, I think, played centre half. It was a pure makeshift lineup we put out, and we managed to get a win. We've been to Tynecastle with worse Hibs teams than this in the past and won. My only issue with this Hibs team is, have they got that bite?
Have they got the balls?
Aye.
Do they have the minerals? Have they got the character?
Yep.
The answer, Craig,
is no.
Is absolutely not. I think there's players in there who obviously want. I think McCurdy would do well in a derby.
No, I think he's the absolute worst player we could have.
Aye?
Yeah.
I see. I don't know if I'm just blinded because I love him,
You mean because every time he walks past you to warm up, you do the arrow to him, and he's pies you every single time that you've done it?
I tell you what, mate, see, he could have got slipped in last night, right? And I would have been fuming if he'd scored, because there would be no way he would have done the arrow celebration.
I think he's absolutely one of the worst players that we could possibly play on Monday.
I don't know.
All it takes,
I'd play him.
It takes is for Hearts to go 1-0 up, for him to try and cross it in and it misses. He has 15,000 people going, "Way!" at him, and his head goes.
His head would go.
He's came on as a sub and ended up getting booked because his heads went. Like, he was about heads gone on Saturday against Livingston at 4-0.
I think he's obviously frustrated with the amount of game time he's getting. I mean, I said this in the chat. We can't judge him based on 20-minute periods. He needs to have a half decent run in the team. Give him a chance, man.
But surely by now you'd think has he shown enough in training to warrant getting a game?
Well, I don't know, because I wouldn't have taken Yuan out for last night, and I think only. I just find it odd that we've spent all that money on him and he's been resigned to cameos from the bench.
This goes back to, though, is this now more a dig at the recruitment team as well?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because realistically, he's not going to play up front over Nisbet.
No. Even over Kukarevich, he wouldn't get an up front.
Nah, Yuan, if he keeps performing the way he did on Saturday.
I thought Yuan played well first half as well last night. It's got to be said. I think that's the Yuan that we saw in the first few games.
But even like last night, like McGuinness has seen a better option right midfield than him, or right wing, however you want to put it. But Monday is, it's one of those like, I know that all the cliches are, form goes out the window, etc., etc. I mean, they've obviously got their. I think a boost for us is Craig Gordon. Partnering up with Reese's Pieces to the fact that as a Scotland fan it's quite shite to see, but as a Hibs fan I'm glad he's not going to be playing.
I'm glad he's not going to be playing. I think laughing at him breaking his leg is maybe a bit far, but I'm glad that we don't have don't because you'll get us cancelled. I think no one wants to see a player go through a leg break, especially at his age, 40-year-old. I mean, is he going to struggle to come back from it? You tell me. I don't know, but I think I would rather he was like suspended for the rest of the season.
I think there's there's other players that I'd like to see suffer that injury before him. Like, despite how much he's been the scourge of Hibs over the years, like even go back to when I was saying this to somebody the other day, like he was stopping goals gone in when I was like fucking 12-year-old.
Yeah.
I'm 31. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. And it wasn't. I mean, to be fair, the injury was self-inflicted. Like,
Stephen Fletcher, you can return to Easter Road.
He did try to, the way that he jumped into Fletcher, it could have been Fletcher suffering that injury.
I didn't see when I saw it in real time. I don't understand how it happened.
Yeah, I don't understand how his legs ended up the way it has and Fletcher's not got an injury. Because it's like
it just looked like
it's like his shins went into Fletcher's knee and his shins just completely shattered on impact.
It's horrible. It really is horrible. I mean, we can sit here and say, "Oh, it's funny," but you know, on a human side, it's not funny to have someone get their leg broken, regardless of who you play for.
No.
And the only reason I'm glad about it is that we didn't need to play against them. No, that'll make an ounce of fucking difference because we're going to get pumped anyway. But on Monday and then at the end of January.
The thing is with that though, Xander Clark, who obviously has had a semi-alright career.
He's good against us and all though.
He's won a double, but he's used to playing in front of fucking 3,000 folk at McDermott Park. Like, how is he going to react to? Because this will be his first game at Tynecastle as well.
Hopefully he'll flap.
I know it's like different playing against Celtic and Rangers and whatnot, but St Johnstone playing Celtic or Rangers doesn't mean what it means to be playing for Hearts against Hibs. Like, how is he going to cope with the atmosphere? How is he going to cope, you know, in the second half with the full Roseburn stand behind him, if it's still full by that point?
Okay. I think that's wishful thinking.
But do you know what I mean? There's so many variables that come into things like this, and you just, like they say, form goes out the window. Like, it really does, because you never know. Hibs could be keeping a performance in their back pocket, like last night. I feel like for Celtic when it just all clicked. Like, could this be a time where for some reason when we go there, everything just happens the way it's supposed to happen? Do you know what I mean? Marshall,
like against Livingston.
Marshall pulls off 2-3 great saves. Do you know what I mean? The only worry I've got is, I suppose, defensively.
Well, let's talk team then. Let's talk team. Who's your 11 that you would put out? What shape would you go with?
Porteous is out. So
is he there? Is he suspended?
Yeah, Porteous is suspended. I'd be tempted.
See if he'd have got sent off against Livingston. Would he still have been suspended for Monday?
I think so, because if it was a straight red, no. But if he was yellow and second yellow, why? Because it's the amount of yellows that take him over the threshold.
I wonder if that's what he was trying to do when he was squaring up to Jason Holt then. Try to get himself sent off.
No, it was his booking against Rangers.
No, but I'm saying when he...
Oh no, he still would have been suspended.
Really?
Aye, because he's...
Even if he got sent off on Sunday?
Yeah,
against... I'm losing the plot on Sunday. When do we play on a Sunday?
It's the weird, like, if you get booked for an accumulation of if you get suspended for an accumulation of yellows over the season, the ban kicks in 14 days after the last yellow card was received. Which seems to be like, just fucking
ban them for the next game.
Aye. I'd be tempted to go with a 3 and have Rocky, Will Fish and Hanlon, only because we've not got anything else. And as poor as Hanlon was last night,
he plays better in a 3 than in a 2. That's just a fact.
And I think having Rocky and Fish as a 2 and that level of, like what I've just said about Xander Clark, and that level of atmosphere, we'd be on a fucking hiding to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you probably go Stevenson and Cadden as wing backs. It gives Cadden a little bit more freedom as well, and he's not stuck defensively. And I think it gives us an option to have a man spare if we need to double up on like Mackay or whoever plays on the other side for them. I think it's maybe Ginelli.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this as well, about Stevenson or Chabraya, and I really like Chabraya, but I think for the reasons that you've obviously just mentioned, Stevenson knows Tynecastle, he knows what he's going to get. He usually plays all right at Tynecastle. Like, give him his due, he usually does quite well.
And I don't
I'd
think
probably have
Hearts
Stevenson.
Hearts haven't got any overly pacey players. Like compare it to last night, like Abada made a Forest when he came on. Like, they're fucking lightning quick. Like, Hearts have got deceptively quick players like Mackay. Mackay's quick over 5-10 yards, but not the 15, 20, 25 yard sprint. I'd then probably go with a 2 with. Personally, I don't want to see Joe Newell in the team. I would go with a 2 or a flat 3 of Kenny, Campbell, and McGuinness.
That's exactly who I would have gone for.
And then I'd have Nisbet and Ewan up front.
Yeah, I think it's very, very difficult to disagree with that.
I think that for me is almost pushing with the cock you've got territory. And that Newell will probably play.
I think so. I'd like to see Campbell and Kennett in there, and if that means getting Newell out and keeping McGuinness in, I'm all for that. I thought Newell was chronic last night, to be honest.
Yep, and we've seen what happened at the game at Hampden, where he wasn't. Obviously, when we got the goal back in it, and we were in the ascendancy, and he just gives away stupid free kick after stupid free kick and ends up getting himself sent off. When you're talking about minerals and character and all of that, I don't think he's got it to play there. I really don't. He's maybe shown it in the past, but no, not.
I think Kenna is certainly something that we need in the team.
Yeah, because
Monday,
we don't need players that are tidy on the ball in that game.
He'll be playing that Porteous role.
We need
in the centre of midfield.
We need folk that are battlers, that can win the ball back, that can read passes and intercept them, and Kenna can do that. Like, Kenna's shown that he's actually really, really good at doing that. And then just get him to give the ball to someone else. Like, he doesn't have to try and carry the ball 15, 20 yards. But, well, here's hoping. Like I say, we've been to Tynecastle, we're worse in the past and won.
I would like to see McCurdy starting, but I think that team that we've just mentioned there is the best chance from the start anyway of us picking up anything, a point, 3 points, a goal at the very least.
I think it's as strong as I can be. Like, unless Miko's fit. If he's pulled up in the warm-up last night, then I severely doubt it.
Unless it was just precaution, because he was injured before.
But there's no one else. Like, even when you look at players like Melkerson, Henderson, oh God, no. Mitchell. Unless you're looking at potentially bringing in players like Oscar McIntyre, Murray Aiken, Robbie Hamilton, etc.
Megwa.
Josh O'Connor, Kanayo Megwa, players like that. Unless you're looking at bringing them in, because I noticed that Johnson spoke a lot, and he mentioned that in his interview last night as well. He said that we've got promising young players, and we need to start bridging the gap.
Yeah, no, I heard that on the radio.
But here's hoping. We'll not do predictions because that's Sean's part. We'll get the predictions out on.
I don't really know what the score is going to be, but I will be happy if we either take the lead or equalise.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah, as long as we get a limbs.
Yeah.
We've not had a limbs at Tiny in a while. I quite like a limbs.
Yeah, I'd like a limbs.
But if you're going, I would say let us know your favourite Tynecastle memory. But if we just get jumped on by Hearts fans and we'd end up getting fucking limb. Oh, I don't know what one to pick. If you're going to the game,
because there's certainly not that many for us anyway.
If you're going to the game on Monday, enjoy it. If you're not going to the game on Monday, well done. Great life choice you've made there.
Enjoy the start of the year, stress free.
Yep.
Don't even bother watching it.
And to be fair, it has a potential to be a bit spicy, given that it's a 3 o'clock kickoff as well.
It always has the potential to be a bit spicy.
Yeah, but typically these games are a 12, half 12 kickoff, but it's not. It's 3 o'clock the day after New Year.
Yeah.
And the boozers will all be open for 9-ish. So I won't be drinking. I've decided not to.
Yeah, I'm not drinking either.
In alcoholic beverages. So if you're going on Monday, enjoy it as best you can. Can tell you what, if we do somehow get a win, the first pod of 2023 will be fucking incredible.
And I will be drinking.
It'll be absolutely incredible. Yep.
Now it's time to answer the Hibs Ramble listener questions.
Right, let's move on to questions. I know we put the tweet out quite late, so we've not got that many.
Got a fair few.
Our old pal John coming in with what's for dinner and what was your favourite Christmas present?
I don't actually know what's for dinner. We need to go to the shopping today. But I can tell you what I had for lunch. I had a baked camembert with chili flakes and chili oil and stuff. And I just dipped wee bits of bread in it. And I think it's giving me the shits.
Lovely. What was your favourite Christmas present?
Megan got me a beanie hat that I wore to the football yesterday, and it was kept my head very, very cozy and warm. So that.
You love that. You love that. Do you know what you love? I think you appreciate as well when you get older.
Socks.
No, shite's the wrong word, but you didn't get statement presents anymore.
The useful presents.
Yeah, so I got a pair of Greg's Crocs.
I got a pair of normal Crocs.
The Greg's Crocs are, mine's are like that, but mine's have got like socks inside.
Oh,
so
I like that.
It's pure fluff. I actually don't know where they are. I think they're on the shoe rack. So yeah, I got that, and I think for dinner we're having. We've actually got a carrot and parsnip soup.
Oh,
that is currently has been in the slow cooker since 10:30 this morning.
That is horny.
Emma's
I
decided,
think the word is horny.
Actually, no, do you know what? Emma's mum got us an air fryer for our Christmas.
Oh, I love my air fryer, man.
So we're now, Emma's subscribed to about 3 million TikTok and Instagram reels on top 5 best air fryer and top 5 best slow cooker recipes. And this one that she's seen is a carrot and parsnip soup. So
can't go wrong with carrot and parsnip. I'm afraid.
We've got a lovely baguette as well that I'll get warmed up, bit of butter on it.
That does sound sensational. I don't think I can top that. Whatever I have for my dinner.
Yes. And the good thing is as well, it'll last for a good few days. Can freeze it, so we can have it for lunch. Can put it in a flask if I go anywhere, which I don't. Jeff has said where to start. Despite his 2 goals on Saturday, McGuinness is wasted on the right wing. Play him advanced centre mid. 3 goals came down our right side. Time for a change. Megwa ? What was Paul Hanlon doing for the 4th? Rocky was very good last night. Megwa. I don't think you can put Megwa into a game against Hearts.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that's very fair on him.
These boys have actually got experience of beating Hearts regularly at youth level. So, like we just mentioned before, there could be a space for maybe 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah, no, I'd like to see some of them, getting onto the bench for Monday, maybe getting on, if need be.
Every other team seems to do it.
See, going back to the McGuinness comment there, I think he is wasted on the right, but I don't think you can really blame him too much for the goals going in last night. I think his best position is certainly through the middle in that, advanced playmaker 10 sort of role.
Yeah, but running off the front men.
I think it then goes back to why is McGuinness being played on the wing if we have actual wingers in the squad?
Yeah. No, I agree. I think it's more at Cadden and the goals that came down his side. I think it's hard to blame him for the second one because he slips.
Mm-hmm.
So You know what I mean? And he made us, like, he missed an open goal for 3 yards out and then somehow rattles one in for 25 yards. Like,
Doesn't he score tap-ins?
no.
It was a zinger, to be fair.
Mark has asked, what is Cadden good at?
Scored an offside goals. He scored a good goal against Livingston.
Yeah.
I think he's good as a wing back. I think as a full back, he struggles a bit because I'm not too sure that he's that great defensively. But put him in the wing back role when he's got a little bit of cover from a right-sided centre half, and I think he fits in a lot better.
Yeah, no, I agree. He's definitely not a full back anyway.
No. It's weird to say that though. He's not a full back, but he's a wing back because it seems like such a specific position these days, eh? But it feels like your wing back should also be good full backs. But if he's got the cover behind him, then I think he does play a lot better.
Right, the next ones have came from Jeff and Billy, but they've sort of started having a conversation amongst themselves, and I'm not reading out every single word of that. Just basically saying that players are playing out of position, stopgap and is not good. Hanlon needs rested, games are passing Newell by. Hanlon needs to play the McGregor role, warm the bench and use as a last resort. Do you know what? I'd actually be tempted to play McGregor on Monday. Just for the fact that he would fucking body someone. Jack is asking, how long does Lee Johnson have to turn this around?
Well, me and Sean spoke about that, eh? And I think, see if we'd lost on Christmas Eve and then lost on Monday, I think that would be it. I wouldn't want that to be it for Lee Johnson. I think it's very difficult to then, as an owner, be like, this is unacceptable. How can we let you continue? Sort of thing. And I think that Ron Gordon has already shown that he's a bit trigger happy when it comes to sacking managers. He's got previous, so I hope it doesn't happen like that, but you never know. I think if things don't go well in January, we could see him away by the start of February.
I think if we, depending on how Monday goes, I think he could get his jotters by Monday night. Again, I don't want that because, and I'm not going to go on about it, but I don't want these idiots that have given Lee Johnson the job in the first place and sacked Maloney and given Maloney the job and sacked Jack Ross and given Jack Ross the job to be given a chance to hire another manager. I don't want it.
Yeah.
And this is going to sound stupid, regardless of how far it goes with Johnson, if we were to end up going down, I actually wouldn't care because that would just show how inept that Ron Gordon actually is and how deluded he is that he believes he's going to make a profit out of it. That's a conversation for another podcast.
Not this podcast, anyway.
Anyway, no. Gigi has said, Ron the Con, vote with your feet.
I saw that one earlier. I've got a clue what he's talking about.
See, like I've spoken about, though, like he's done all this stuff off the park, so it's not really a con. But doesn't understand.
He has pumped a lot of money into the transfers, into the doing up of Easter Road. I think in some respects the money that he spent has been a little bit in vain given the personnel that he's brought in and stuff. Is that down to him being inept, or is it down to him being lack of experience?
It's down to him showing too much loyalty in his son.
I mean,
who's the head of recruitment but not the head of recruitment.
This is a conversation that we could have for weeks and weeks on end.
John's added again, thoughts on this too. This was posted soon as the starting 11 was announced. So I seen this, Dimitri Mitchell.
Yeah.
Like the sleeping emoji on his story.
And then the next one was like who's in your corner or something.
Yeah. And then 20 minutes later, he's on the bench.
I think, see, for me, Dimitri Mitchell, I really wanted him to work out. He hasn't worked out. He's always injured. When he has been on the pitch, he's not done an awful lot. I mean, his first couple of games, he was all right. He scored a couple of goals. But then since then, he's not really done anything. I don't think there's... Unless there's something going on behind the scenes that we don't know. Maybe Lee Johnson's went, you're in my plans, and he's never using them. I think
he's another one with this patchy injury record as well that we've signed.
Yeah, I hate saying a wasted wages or a wasted jersey, but when someone's injured that much, and I would imagine that he's not on a low wage, I would imagine that he's on a half decent amount of money. I think it's probably better for us to cut our ties with him if he's not going to be involved, because look, we brought in Chabraya as well, and he's been starting ahead of him. Now Lewis Stevenson's starting ahead of him.
Yeah.
So, and he's not been injured for the last few weeks either.
No, I know. But then we seen him against St Johnstone and he was absolutely toiling after 25 minutes. So,
yeah.
Isla's asked, how bad will the games v Hearts actually be? So we're not going to...
Depends on who you support.
Yeah, we're not going to trouble ourselves too much with the cup game because that's still far enough away for us not to have to think about it. I think just as we wrap up, we've got one more. No, we don't. That's us.
Oh,
right.
Wow.
So that wraps up 2022 for the Hibs Ramble.
It's been a pleasure, Craig.
Between myself, Liam, Sean, Mark, and Michael, who was with us before, it's been a great 6 months since we got up and running. We've really appreciated all the engagement that we get, and here's hoping we can just get bigger and better. Thanks to everyone who's taken part, whether it be contributors in terms of, we have to thank Hibs for allowing us to have Ethan and Josh on the podcast a few weeks ago. We really enjoyed that. We've got a couple of things planned for the new year. We're hoping to get one or two former players on to talk about their experiences at the club. And we'll just see where it goes. But thanks to everybody for your support. And on behalf of myself and Liam and the Hibs Ramble, we'd like to wish you a very happy new year. And here's hoping that the second makes it the best fucking possible new year it can be.
Well, have a great new year. Hopefully Hibs don't ruin it for us. And if they do, just have a good new year anyway.
It's only football.
It's only football.
Right. Thanks everybody for listening. If you could like, share, subscribe, yada, 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 you know the drill by now. And we'll see you next year.
Right, cheers. Bye.